Hi, I'm Dr. Joan Friedman. Welcome to Twin Tuesday. I always find it curious when a young adult who's a singleton comes into therapy, there's usually in the presenting problems a lot of talk about the parental relationship and also how to understand how one's childhood really influenced the presenting interpersonal relationships that the patient might be talking about now. And of course, that makes sense because young adults are really trying to understand their parents from an adult perspective. When twins come in, either alone or with each other, there's usually very little talk about parental grievances until later on in the therapy. The main focus is their relationship, how they're not getting along, and how they blame one another for their presenting difficulties. Let me give you an example of a few presenting complaints. One twin might say, you have everything. You have a house, you have a dog, you have a job. I don't have anything. Look at me, I'm a nothing. Another twin might say, you ruined my marriage. You were not able to get along with my husband. And as a result, my marriage is over and it's collapsed and it's all your fault. Or a twin might come in and say, I'm no longer a twin. I have no identity. I don't know who I am. My twin sister has a boyfriend. She's abandoned me, and I don't know who I'm supposed to be. So you can imagine these are very difficult situations that require a lot of therapy and require that each parties in therapy have a lot of self-reflection and a lot of self-restraint. The twin who's suffering, who I'll call the victimized twin, has to go through a process of actually taking responsibility for who she is and what she has. It's very difficult because so many twins are brought up in this fantasy that their lives are going to evolve into some parallel process and they're both going to live the same happily ever after. And of course, this often does not happen. And when it doesn't, it's quite a blow and it's quite a disillusion to what they imagined life would give them. So that twin who's suffering has to set up a set of standards and expectations for herself, which are not in competition with or in compared with what her sister has. And the twin who's doing well, who suffers so greatly with guilt and shame because she can't be happy for herself because her sister is suffering so, she has to find space within herself to be able to feel content and grateful for who she is and what she has. What she also has to do, which is not easy, is she has to develop space to be able to hear her sister's anger and resentment without feeling attacked and without feeling that she wants to run away. It's a very similar process to a mom or a dad who has to make space to hear that one of their children is angry, and they have to be able to hear the anger without getting defensive and really listening to where that child's coming from, his feelings and his perspective and his point of view. So developing this empathy within the twinship at a very early stage in their lives, not at a later stage, is really what's going to help them develop a pattern of communication and a way of knowing one another that will hopefully bring them into a twinship that will last and be happy for many years between the two of them. Thank you. I'll see you next week.